Hello, this is Pant3ra doing an audio commentary for WCReplays.com. This audio has been copyrighted 2005 by WC Replays, so don't go stealing it or use a bitch. So, with all that said and done, let's get this replay paused at the 2-minute mark. Phoenix Miro's point of view. Fog of War on or off, I don't really care. Whatever you want. And today's matchup is Undead VS Human. And it's basically the cookie cutter stuff that you do against human, which is always good to go over. And I'll be talking about waypoints and as far as if you know you're going to get creep jacked at a item shop, if it's worth it or not, you'll see. So anyways, let's get this replay unpaused in 3, 2, 1, unpause. So Miro's going an early altar to harass with Death Knight because you don't want to try to out-creep a human. They have militia, water elementals, and that'll basically let them gain a lot of experience over you. So right now he's not going to send his scalp goal back right yet because he wants to find a weak water elemental, which he does because creeps always focus his water elementals. So that's a footman of experience for Miro already, which is good. And now he's sending it back. And now he knows also where Shobu's creeping, so he'll know exactly where to go to creep jack him and harass him or whatever. And always have a Rod of Necromancing, of course, too. So you have a little bit more damage output than just a Death Knight. He's going to run back in there because he saw militia creeping. He's going to find some weak militia. There's some weak peasants now. And he's going to focus those down the skeletons and try to get under 100 health and coil it. Unfortunately, that peasant gets away at 10 health. So he'll probably be back. If human does not have an arcane tower, it's a really good idea to run into their base and send in skeletons and start getting peasants under 100 health and then coiling them. It costs the human 75 gold each time and gets you a good gold advantage over them. And if they are planning on expanding, they usually have to build more peasants for wood if they had 3 or 4 taken out by the Death Knight coiling them, unless they don't want to have any wood. So now, since he has enough wood up at his base, he's going to send his schools to go creep, and while he's harassing with his Death Knight, which is really good. So he'll be getting some experience himself that's steady coming in, instead of coiling and just depending on that, on coiling creeps and weak units. And right now, unfortunately, Shobu got that level 3 creep, and it's not really worth coiling level 1 creeps. Not much experience at all. So he's just going to try to get Shobu to chase his Death Knight and keep Shobu from creeping anything more. He's almost finished the second green camp. And you just need to keep putting on a harass on the human until they reach to tier 2 with your Death Knight, because once the human reaches to tier 2, that Mountain King will be out, and that's no good. You'll just get bolted and surrounded. So that's always a good idea to keep in mind too. So right now he's a little over halfway to tier 2. Once you get to tier 2, you usually want to get a Lich out for Nova, and for that is when they attack you before tier 3, which isn't a good time to fight human, but when they do, he'll have Nova to slow the riflemen, and then you can surround the riflemen and take them out, since pretty much every human goes rifles. And once you're at tier 3, it's always good to fast tech to tier 3, by the way, even though he hasn't done it yet, but he will. And for that is because of Abominations, Skull Frenzy, and Destroyers. And just the Destroyers make the water elementals basically useless and give Destroyers mana for more damage. The Abominations are good tanks if you get a couple of them out. Statues, of course, for AoE healing until you turn them into Destroyers. And Ghoul Frenzy makes the ghouls go really fast, and when they're really fast, even if they have slow on them, they're still okay, and they take out rifles pretty good. So right now he has to keep his ghouls he's keeping his ghouls in his base collecting wood until he has enough, and then he's going to send him out to go creeping. You want your Death Knight at level 3 before your Lich comes out, because it'll be really hard to get him up to level 3 if he's not when the Lich is out, because then they're going to be sharing experience or whatever. So he's going to be finishing off this natural expansion camp right now, and he's setting up one slaughterhouse, because he's not going to be going like a solo Death Knight with destroyers. If you would do that, if you'd go solo Death Knight with destroyers, which I like to do, then you could go 2 slaughterhouses. But if you went 2 slaughterhouses with Death Knight and Lich and Crypt Lord, which he's soon to be getting, then you won't have enough money really to pump out of 2 slaughterhouses. So Shobu decides it's a good time to attack right now, and Miro thinks that he can take him for now, and so he novas those rifles, tries to get surrounds on him until his Lich gets surrounded. Then he has to start attacking the footies, unfortunately. Rifles are a lot better to attack in the battle, but right now he's just picking off any weak units. You don't want to pick off the Mountain King. You don't want to surround him until he's like the last unit to surround. You want to get those rifles out of there, because they do a lot of damage, and basically they can hurt your destroyers if they're in large numbers. So you want to keep the humans' rifles to lower numbers. When he tries to go for that surround on the Mountain King, unfortunately his Lich gets bolted. So they're trading off heroes now. But always watch your Lich. If you don't have any coils left at the moment, if you don't have any coils left at the moment, then I'd run the Lich back when you try to surround a Mountain King if he has enough mana to bolt. If you pay attention to their mana, it's always good to pay attention to the hero's mana, by the way. Right now he's trying to surround that. He's surrounding that water elemental, because that's a footman worth of experience, like I was mentioning earlier. That's always good to do. And then once you have some skeletons in there too, if you have like 2 or 3 skeletons with a Death Knight, you can easily focus down a rifle and get him under 200 health and coil him. Because when you're level 3, obviously, anything under 200 health is going to die to a coil. So he's keeping those riflemen low. Right now Shobu only has 1 rifleman from the looks of it. And his Lich is back up. And he reached tier 3. So he's going to be going Ghoul Frenzy soon, after he gets those 2 ghouls out, hopefully. And he's going to be going back to his base to get some items going. Orb of Corruption is really good for the Lich, because it reduces their armor, and it makes nuking a lot easier. If you were to focus down something and then you coil it, the coil does more damage because it has less armor and everything. So I'm pretty sure that applies to coils and novas and everything. So right now he's sitting in his base collecting wood, because there's nothing much else to do really. I mean, you could go creeping, but he needs that wood so he can produce more units. So it's not really sitting in your base doing nothing. He's regaining his mana from the statues and whatnot too. So he's fine on that. And I take that back, the Lich hasn't gotten his Orb of Corruption yet, so. But he will. Yeah. So, anyways. He's about to have enough lumber to start going to creep. Just got an Abomination out. It's always good. Abominations are great tanks to riflemen, and also, I don't think they take spells too well. Like, when they get slowed, they kind of suck. But that's why you have your Ghouls for and your destroyers to absorb all that. So right now he's going to be keeping his Death Knight back while they're creeping, so his Crypt Lord and Lich get all the experience instead of the Death Knight getting some, which he's already level 4. He wants to get those heroes. He wants to try to get those heroes up to his Lich up to level 3 at least, so he has a higher level Nova, which will deal more damage, and his Crypt Lord up to level 3 too, so he'll have Impale at level 2, so that'll be more damage too. And right now he's going to go down to the shop and see what's going on down there. And this is the part I was talking about earlier, where if you know you're gonna get creepjacked at an item shop, you better make sure it's worth it. And you see Shobu, and then you see Shobu going back, so he figures he has enough time to kill that bottom rock golem that drops the item, and then be able to TP out if he has to, because that item's really worth a TP, and it's an Anik, or an Ankh of reincarnation. So he TP's out, but unfortunately his Crypt Lord gets bolted right there and killed. So that wasn't worth it. It would have been worth it though if the Crypt Lord didn't die, because that would have been experience and an Ankh, which is like 400 gold, versus the TP he used, which is 350 gold. So he'd be getting experience and 50 gold, basically. So yeah, that would have been good if he didn't lose his Crypt Lord. Anyway, so now he's sitting back in his base. He needs to collect more wood, reviving his Crypt Lord. Now he has an Orb of Corruption, finally. And he wants some healing scrolls too. So when the Mountain King thunderclaps you, you can pop one of those healing scrolls up, and that works really good too. So now he's going to be setting up an expansion, I believe, up at the red creep camp up there. It's not as obvious as the bottom one, and most average players don't look, and well, these guys are Gosu, but so I mean, still, it's less obvious, it's more out of the way and everything, which is a good idea, and plus more experience. As you see, Coil Nova, the big creep right there. You don't usually want to waste your Coil Novas, but this creep camp drops a rune of mana, so all your heroes get their experience regained anyways. This is what I was talking about, waypoints. His Crypt Lord, he set the waypoint to his hero when he didn't know where when he didn't know where his opponent was. So right when he gets his Crypt Lord out, the Crypt Lord dies, and unfortunately he couldn't get to it in time to coil it. So you want to keep your heroes, especially revived in your base, instead of getting them rally jacked. Another good point I wanted to bring up about this battle right here, which is almost over, is he caught the enemy's Archmage off guard when it had a TP. He waited until it got like halfway health, and then he started having his whole army focus it and Coil Nova it. So then Shobu has a battle that he doesn't want to fight, but unfortunately he has to because he has no TP now. And so that's good game, as Shobu said, and left. And so basically what you want to do is, if you can, catch the human opponent, or any opponent at that matter, when you're undead, off guard by getting their hero like halfway down if they're an intel hero, or whatever, like closest amount of hit points where they'll die right when they get Coil Nova'd, and then just they're dead and they can't TP out, and then they're stuck there, and that can usually seal games right there and get you a win. So that's always a good thing to do, and I can't stress this enough. Just don't rally your heroes to your main hero when they die and you revive them, because that's if you don't know where your enemy is, because you're gonna end up out of like 1 out of 10 games, I'd say, in solo, they'll probably get jacked, and especially with human, it's not good because they have slow, they have Storm Bolt from the Mountain King at that time of the game, and that's just not good. So you want to make sure you guys don't do that. Anyways, this will be the end of the audio. It was my first time making audio for WCReplays.com, so let me know how I did, and this will be Pant3ra signing out. Hope you enjoyed it.